So kind of want to talk about the differences of these. We have developmental changes that we go through. We have transitional changes that we go through. We have transformational changes that we go through, right? So let's kind of define what these are. So if any of you are going through any of this, then you'll be able to relate to where you are and how to handle it. So a developmental change would be, let's say you're already a massage therapist and you decide that you have a client or several clients who have some severe neck and shoulder issues, and you have skills to do certain aspects, but maybe this is not necessarily your specialty. So you decide you're going to go take a class and get further skills in maybe neck therapy and shoulder therapy. Great, that's a developmental change, right? There's a moment of change that's happening in your life. You already know what you're doing. You already know you're real clear on what you want to do. You love massage. You like helping people, but you just want to get some more skills. So you just go develop those. That kind of a change in a life is not really that dramatic or significant. Yes, the actual learning and training of a new skill can be a little taxing. Hi, Jackie. But to say that it really disrupts your life in a really difficult way or challenging way is not so much. So the second change I talked about was transition. What's a transitional change? That would look like, for example, you decide that you want to go on a healthy eating regimen and maybe incorporate more exercise, because maybe you feel like you've kind of gotten a little out of shape. Maybe your little tummy's gotten a little bulgy. And so you decide you are going to now do something different. So you put a plan into action. You maybe start clearing out your fridge, your cupboards of all those foods that are so yummy and delicious to you, but they're like your kryptonite. You can't not have them around because otherwise you'll just eat them all. And you start putting a system in place for exercising, which is all really good. That's a really easy transition. Now, I'm not saying to change your eating habits and exercise is necessarily easy, but this type of change is pretty easily managed because you're in control of that. You see where you are, you see where you want to go, and there's generally not a lot of surprises along the way, because you've pretty much planned that out. So that's the second thing of change I'll talk about. Now, the third change in our life seems to be, at least in my opinion, the most crucial that we go through in our life, and that would be a transformational change. And why is transformational, of all the three changes I've just talked about, why is that the most challenging? And I have to say the reason that's the most challenging is because it's usually unexpected. Even if it's expected, for instance, sorry, I'm trying to get my little camera right here. Right there, I feel like I'm a little bit more centered. A transitional phase would be, let's say suddenly your spouse decided they no longer wanted to be married. And so they now leave the relationship. That's a really unexpected thing. Even if it was expected because maybe you've had trouble and strife, and you may have even thought yourself that, I want to be done with this relationship. But the fact that somebody else has made that decision now catapults you into a transformational time of your life. And that can be really unsettling and scary. Another would be, another great example of that would be, yeah, exactly. See how here's a developmental change for me. I'm having to figure out Be Live TV Live, and I'm trying to show Jackie's comment. and it's not coming up. So for those that, okay, well. So for you that may have seen, it says it's true about transformation change. We are all like to stay in our comfort zone. Yeah, right? Another transformational change that even though you might be expecting it, but wow, the reality of that, it becomes real, is for those of you that have had a baby before, right? So you're super, super excited, you know, that you're having this baby. Maybe you planned to have this baby. I don't know, maybe you didn't, but maybe you did. So you go and you get the room all decorated. You read all of the books that you could possibly read on being the perfect parent and all of that. And then that little bundle of joy comes out of your body and you're all like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. And then after about the fourth day of 2 o'clock in the morning, no sleeping, crying, you don't know what to do because you've changed the diaper, you fed the baby, you rocked the baby, you haven't slept in 5 days. This is a really big transformational change, even if it was one that you wanted and even if it was one that you were looking forward to in your life. That's a really big one. So how many of you have gone through such a transformational change? Right, yes, Jackie, exactly. Won't stop crying. You're like, I'm going to start crying now because I don't know what to do with you. How many of you have gone through a transformational stage? Not transition, because those seem pretty minor compared to transformational, and how that looks and how you manage to get through that. I can say for myself, probably one of the biggest transformations in my life. I've had actually quite a few, but one of the biggest transformations I've had in my life was I had bought a business. I have a paralegal background in addition to my PhD in philosophy, but I had bought a paralegal business to run a self-help bookstore along with preparing legal documents for clients, whether they were for adoption or divorce or evictions, anything like that. The business was sold to me fraudulently. I subsequently found out after I bought the business. So, you know, because I felt like I was putting in hours and days and weeks of way more time than this person had told me that would make the business run. The business had been in existence for, you know, 7 years, 10 years, had done very well. I had watched this business for a number of years, so I felt like I had taken and measured my risk when making this decision to buy this business. I thought I had asked all of the right questions. I had asked to see tax returns to see the legitimacy of the income of the business. I knew that the location was fabulous because it was right across the street from the courthouse that I had worked at for 10 years. So measuring out all of these and then finding out that the taxes that were shown to me were fraudulently, I found out later, really put me in a state of panic. Because I knew that I was putting effort and I was putting lots of time and even adding additional services that were in this business that weren't already in existence. And so I felt like that should have sustained the business as being a new business. I mean, new businesses take a while to grow and cultivate. But this seemed like a really good, smart move. And it wasn't that I wasn't smart to do the move. I got taken advantage of, but looking back on that experience too, I probably should have asked for some additional help. I probably should have asked for somebody to give me some really good, sound business advice. Because although I understood the concept of the business and knew exactly how to do all of the forms and help the people in that, I didn't know what it took to run the business. So in addition to the business ultimately failing, I did end up selling the business, recouping the investment. I was very honest with the people that bought the business so that they knew the whole story, because I didn't want them to not know that. But in addition to that, my marriage failed too. And so I ended up going through a divorce, and I was having to deal with the fact that I lost a business that I really, really loved and really, really wanted to make work. And that just catapulted me into just a crazy, crazy depression and feelings of unworthiness and feelings of shame and feelings of, I can't believe this is happening to me. And it took me a while to go through that dark space of kind of, I'm going to say flogging myself, because isn't that what we do when we feel guilty and we feel shameful and we feel that we're foolish or that we've made a mistake, is especially when our inner critic, mine you know is Trudy, is running the show. They will flog you like there's nobody's business. And then it took the help of reaching out to finally say, you know what, I need something more than this in my life. And I began doing self-help books. I began attending classes. And then I ultimately hired a coach to help me to get through this so that I could propel myself to go in the right direction of what I wanted to do, because I knew there was more to life. At least I felt there was more to life than disappointment. I didn't think I went this far in my life to only end up with nothing, guilt and shame. What a bunch of crap we feed ourselves. So that's kind of one transformational journey that I've gone through in my life. And do I want to go through that again? Hell no. But if I was to go through something like that again, I think I have better tools and better plans put in place. And one of them would be reaching out to get help to do that, because truly, I don't think we can do things without the help of others. So I'm going to leave you just with that. And I would love for you, if you're watching the replay of this, to just share. If there's something that you need help with, if there's something that you're struggling with, understand it's not something you need to do alone. You know, and I know if any of you are very prideful and maybe feel like a little stubborn, I can totally relate to that, because being a very proud woman and a very, consider myself a very strong, independent woman, it was to my detriment in some ways that I didn't ask for help. And I struggled, I recognize now, needlessly and painfully to my own self, not to anybody else around me, except for my family, who really hated seeing me go through that. So if any of you are sitting out there that are right there on this fence and you're saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm done struggling with this. I'm done needing to feel this way, and I want to feel better because I know there's more for my life. I'm going to ask you to reach out and get in touch with me. I'm going to see if I can type on here right now, and if I can't, then I will definitely put that in the comment, in the top of this, or in the comment section. I will put my website, but my website, for those of you, oh, no wonder. Sorry, kind of sidetracked there for a second. I was treating my desktop computer like my tablet. I got all these technological things, and some you point and some you click, so sorry about that as I sidetracked myself. Yeah, so hey, I figured out how to put Jackie's comment up. Oh wow, lots of change to go through all at once, but look at you now. Through tough times, you emerge into a confident, noble woman who helps other women. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jackie. There's truly, there's nothing that gives my heart greater pleasure than to help other women, because I know that there's been some pretty damn amazing, strong women in my life who have helped raise me up to who I am. And I'm really thankful for that. So if there's something I can do, please, 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 please don't be as stubborn and bullheaded as I was in my life to not ask for help, because I'm telling you, once I finally got through that and did that, whew, doors open, amazing things happen. So I'm going to put on my glasses to make sure that I have strengthandsensitivity.com. Here's my website. Feel free to reach out and let's have a call. Let's have a conversation together. I will schedule that for you, and we'll just make that happen. Until then, I wish you a great day. We will talk more on change and transformation and all of that tomorrow. But until then, please have a great rest of your day and know that I send you so much love. Bye.